Ah, need to wake up. Is my computer working? Question, is the computer working? Good evening. Cool, it is working. House Alex, good evening. Welcome to a pretty chill Saturday night, to be honest with you. Hello Matthew, I assume you have some sort of a new account. Strange. Or new username. I was thinking about painting, you've confirmed the plan. You should always paint on a Saturday night. Good evening, Antonius. How are you? What's good, my friends? I put a little bit more paint onto my Ballistus Dreadnought. I'm not really using him in an army at the moment. But I'm trying to get him finished before the new edition launches. He's getting there. I'm pretty close to being at a point where I'm going to lay down washes and stuff for him, so it looks a bit dark actually. No, just for some reason it shows the account name. I don't know then. YouTube's doing funny things, is it? I was on soccer duty as well today, this morning actually. I've been doing this thing at soccer practice because everyone just stands and watches, right? And I've got 2 kids. So I'm at soccer practice for like, I guess, like an hour and 45 minutes. So I've just been doing steps. Been walking backwards and forwards on the touchline. I think somebody probably thinks I'm like possessed or something, like I can't stand still. But I'm trying really hard to lose weight at the moment. So I've just been using the soccer practice, because I'm there watching my kid anyway, to just walk back and forward. So I've been hitting like 15,000 steps on Saturdays, just because I'm walking for an hour and a half during soccer practice. So I'm trying to, rather than, I mean it was kind of cold today anyway, so like rather than just stand still, I'm doing steps back and forth. Anyway. Anyone excited about any of the new stuff that's come out this last week with the 11th edition previews? I can't quite decide yet where I land on it. I'm very worried that AP is going to be nonsense. Like AP is still going to be super high on things. And I was kind of hoping we might get an overall reduction on AP. I feel like the new land speeder, I mean I'm probably going to get 2 of them because I'm buying the new box, right? But I'm not super excited about the new land speeder. Kitsumi, good evening. Thrillwood afternoon, my friend. Harry, good evening. I always say good evening. It's evening here anyway, so welcome to the stream, wherever you may be in the world, I guess. But yeah, I'm feeling unconvinced on the new land speeder. Maybe if it's like super competitive in points, but I don't think it will be. I mean, Blood Angels used to get a lot of value out of land speeders, attack bikes. That used to be our fire support, right? Like, I think in 9th edition, I just ran attack bikes. Like, I didn't really run tanks in 9th edition. Oh, maybe I ran a couple of dreadnoughts. But that's because, like, the Volkite dreadnoughts were just bonkers in 9th edition. Those dreadnoughts were too good to ignore. I've heard that we will pay extra for special weapons and war gear. Well, I mean, I think you'll be able to put enhancements onto units, which is something new. War gear, I haven't heard anything about war gear being costed. I feel like we're still waiting for a lot of confirmation on a lot of things, right? So yeah, the land speeder seems cool, but it's random movement after shooting is maybe going to be a problem, and then I'm worried that it's going to be too expensive point wise. I think they're going to overprice it. You remember when storm speeders came out and they were priced to a point where like nobody ran storm speeders, right? I'm worried that that's what's going to happen in the land speeders. I guess we'll see. I guess we will see. But yeah, storm speeders came out at a phenomenally high point cost, if I remember correctly. So high that just nobody played them for like months, I guess. Probably felt like longer, but I think it was months. So I'm trying to get this dreadnought ready for some edge highlighting. That would be a good goal to have for tonight, to get him to a point where we can do edge highlighting on him. I mean, even better would be to start some of the edge highlighting tonight, because whenever I do edge highlighting on like a vehicle, I always need another session afterwards to tidy up all the mistakes, it feels like. Am I right in thinking our faction focused with the Death Company detachment taking mortals to get advance and charge? They touched on some other stuff. They touched on the fact that there was going to be a new detachment that returned +1 to advance and charge. So they mentioned that was coming back. They also mentioned... Oh, they mentioned one other detachment. I think it seemed weird. It was like... I think it was like... If a unit is destroyed by the... Someone help me from chat. It was like if a unit... If a Sanguine Guard unit is destroyed or something, you can get a stratagem that will like give you full rerolls to hit against that unit with your Sanguine Guard. But here's the thing, like I was playing against Tau recently. I think it was Tau. I'm sure it was Tau. And they have a stratagem where like whenever any unit is destroyed, they just get to pay like 1 CP, and then for the rest of the game, everything, like every other unit in the army, is rerolling hits and wounds against that unit. So like you kill 2 or 3 Tau units, and then all of a sudden the whole Tau army is rerolling everything against you. And trust me, if Tau are rerolling everything against you, you've got problems, because Tau are brutally good at shooting. So the one that they mentioned where it was like, oh, you might get to reroll some hits with a Sanguine Guard, I was like, that seems pretty underwhelming. So what we've heard so far seems underwhelming. Mr. FAQK. So I guess, I mean, we're gonna have to wait and see how it all plays out. But at the moment, it seems a little bit worrying. I feel like I'm never going to take up to 4 mortal wounds for a random D6 charge. I think that sounds like absolute insanity. Death Company are so squishy, like they die so friggin' quick. And it's so important to have the unit like near full health, because you need the whole unit to do the damage. So like, sacrificing the Death Company like crazy to get an extra couple inches on a charge seems crazy. Seems like that's never going to be worth it. It's okay, Templars are very underwhelming as well. I must admit, I didn't really follow anything that they said about Templars. What makes them underwhelming, Eternal Crusader? At this point, I'm just ready to get the rules and start breaking down the rules, right? Like, we can talk about previews for so long. I think as well, like, you know, like, I spoke to Andrew this week, because he was like, oh, you're playing Colin on the channel, and I said to him, like, I actually thought that I was done. Like, I actually thought I wasn't going to play any more 10th edition, but Colin was wanting a game to try out the double Defilers, and I was like, yeah, do you know what, I wouldn't mind seeing what 2 Defilers are like. Answer is, Defilers are completely bonkers, and I feel like they need to be increased in points cost. But I said to Andrew, like, are you playing again? He was like, no, I'm probably just waiting until 11th edition. So, like, some people are already, I guess, checked out of 10th edition, right? I don't know what else you would call it. They're just, we're ready for the new rules. We need them to hurry up and announce when the pre-order is. Because I guess it's been going on long enough now where some people are just ready. Quira says, I've still not decided what I want to focus on, which faction for 11th. Well, I'm focusing on Blood Angels for 11th. Surprise! Surprise, motherfucker! Being it as the Blood Angels commander. Well, I'm not anymore. I'm the BA commander because I was worried that when Games Workshop were shutting down all those channels for having like copyright names, I changed my channel name from Blood Angels Commander to BA Commander. So I must have been the BA Commander now for like 3 or 4 years. I was actually thinking if there was a better anagram for it, but because in the last few years I've got really, really heavily into going to the gym now. I'm so I would say I'm addicted to the gym, and I was trying to think if there's a BA that stands for something to do with the gym. But yeah, I'm totally addicted to the gym now, crazily. British Airways. Oh yeah. Every time I go into Liam Dempsey's channel, he always used to make fun of me and call me the British Airways commander. Well, at least they knew who I was, I guess. BA from the A-Team. Man, it's been a long time since I watched the A-Team. Is it on streaming somewhere? I would watch A-Team, actually. I'm more of an old school person, so I like to buy my discs. I like to watch movies from a disc. Because then, I don't know. There's something, I feel like there's something powerful about owning your content. We have a whole detachment for the Emperor's Champion and it's mid. Yeah, I heard that the Emperor's Champion is going to have his own detachment. He's one model, right? Am I missing something? He is but a single model. Why does he need his own detachment? I think I am going to get to the point where I'm going to start edge highlighting this guy tonight. I think the thing I'm more worried about 10th edition, sorry, 11th edition than anything is, it really frustrates me that every army I play against seems to have invulnerable saves. And the amount of times that my Marines are getting hit by crazy AP where I don't even get to roll a save is really frustrating. You know, like, you shoot any enemy tank, almost. As long as it's not a Space Marine tank, you shoot any enemy tank, it's like, oh, it's got a 5-up invuln. People shoot my tanks, I'm like, oh, I don't get a save. Like, this week in the final turn against Death Guard, I'd probably lost the game anyway, But like he goes into my unit of intercessors with like AP 4, and right before I'm going into him with like low AP, and that's what I'm really confused about. This new what's the new unit? I think they're just called Eradicators with heavy bolt rifles, right? And I was looking at them, like, because obviously this week we got the data sheet for Eradicators with heavy bolt rifles, and for all intents and purposes, they're a Gravis Marine with a heavy bolter that gets blast against infantry. There's not too much else different with them, right? I guess they have the heavy keyword. So there's a heavy bolter with the heavy keyword, sustained 1 and blast against infantry. So I was like, right, well, we already have Inceptors with bolters that basically have the exact same number of shots, the exact same weapon profile. Rather than sustained 1, they have sustained 2. So if you're shooting infantry, then the numbers are going to be super similar, like almost identical, right? Sustained 1 versus sustained 1 with blast against infantry versus like sustained 2 against infantry. And then there was one other thing that I was thinking, oh sure, so the new Gravis ones get heavy. So it's like, so they gave us this new unit, a whole new unit, that basically has the exact same guns as we already had, pulled off the jump pack. I suppose that's fine, you could have a variant of them that don't have jump packs. Pulled off the jump pack, and I'm just a bit confused. I'm like, I don't know a single Marine player, right? Like, and I know a few Marine players. Inceptors get twin link too, yeah, so the twin link actually makes them probably counteracts the heavy, right? Because you're re-rolling wounds versus +1 to hit. They're probably quite comparable, Andonius. So I'm like looking at it going like, so hold on, we just got a unit that basically has the exact same profile and is in the same type of armor, you know, the Gravis armor. So this unit is so similar. And I also don't know a single Marine player that was going, you know what we really need is a unit of Gravis Marines with bolters. Like, we've got shitloads of bolters, we don't use them because they're not good. I mean, maybe some armies can make bolters good, like Ultramarines. Blood Angels can't. Bolters for us fucking suck. You get to choose from the following. Oh, is this for the Emperor's Champion? D wounds, devastating wounds once per fight phase, -3 detect range, 2 extra attacks, enemy melee is hazardous, and a heroic intervention for -1 CP, or enemy fallback is D6 mortal wounds on a 2-up. I mean, I suppose it's not horrible, but I don't know if it's worth a whole detachment for one model, is it? Yeah, I'm a bit apprehensive about what we've seen so far for 10th edition, unless all the big nasty demons and stuff are getting nerfed, but I don't think they are, because based on like these faction focuses they've been putting out, it doesn't really seem like, you know, it doesn't seem like we're dropping AP or anything like that. You know, like, I fully expect the Nightbringer to still be hitting my Marines at AP 4, and I'll be damned if I get a save, you know? I still expect Tau to be bringing like AP 5 railguns. I wonder if they still get to ignore cover. Probably. So I'm a little I guess apprehensive. I mean, there'll probably be some sort of like good combo in the Space Marine Codex that we can get access to. There always is. There's something that Games Workshop will have missed. Like last edition, was it like Fire Discipline Aggressors was a really strong combo. So there probably will be some sort of crazy combo that we can do that will be very good and help us win some tournaments in the early edition at least. But I'm a bit, when people say they're a bit whelmed, I guess what they mean by that is there's nothing that they're looking at and going, oh my god, that looks like a great Blood Angels buff, right? I mean, that's what you want your players to do. You want your players to be like, oh my goodness, here's a great buff that I'm desperate to use, but I'm just not seeing it. There'll be a couple of combos we're forced to run, just like always. Yeah, that's what I'm worried about, Andonius, right? We're gonna have to tailor our armies around like the one or two combos that are competitive, and I feel like that's just the nature of Space Marines, honestly. Like I've bitched quite a lot about Vindicator tanks this edition. Like, I don't particularly like running Vindicator tanks, but it's really hard to argue with the fact that they can have like 9 shots at strength 14. Nothing else even comes remotely close to that many strength 14 shots. You need like 5 Gladiator tanks, like 5 of them, to get that many strength 14 shots. We will all need to learn everything again. Yeah, there'll be some sort of hidden combo that we'll need to learn, and I'm so on the fence at the moment. Are Vindicators likely to stay for the next edition? I've heard that they're going to Legends. I've heard that every single Firstborn unit is going to Legends except Rhinos and Land Raiders. Whether there's any meat in that... Meat? Is that the right word? Whether there's any substance in that rumour, I don't know. But that's what I'm kind of preparing myself for. Like, we're going to lose every single Firstborn unit. But, like, maybe something else stays, but I think that they're all going to be gone. They might not be gone straight away, because you might need to get the new codex, which might take a month or two. But I'll be very surprised if they're not gone within the first 3 months of 11th. I purposely didn't buy any Vindicator tanks this edition because I was just really worried that they're going to go to Legends. I wanted a second Ball Predator this edition. I ended up converting an old Predator tank into one because I was like, again, I just don't want to buy a tank that's going to go to Legends. You know, yes, losing the money sucks, but probably the principle of losing it sucks just as bad. The way obscuring mechanic works sounds good, but I feel we are just going to be shot off the objective by the usual suspects like Tau. Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. The fact that they talked about... They mentioned, I think, that the Death Company were going to get a 5-up invuln save. And the second they said that, I was like, oh. Like, they try to play that off as like a good thing. You know, like, oh, there's going to be a stratagem for Death Company to get a 5-up invuln. And the second they said that, I was like, alright, so we're dealing with stupid AP again, where we're going to be obliterated by, you know, like, you play against Ultramarines and they have Hellblasters, and you just get obliterated by like AP4 no cover Hellblasters, where you're just losing Death Company left, right and centre, and you don't even get to roll saving throws. And I was like, when they said that there's going to be a 5-up 5-up invuln save, I was like, oh no. So we've not fixed any of the AP. We've just copped out and given them a stratagem, and we hope that means they won't get annihilated straight away. I was like, oh. So I'm going to have to see the rules to give a full judgment. Maybe we should rate the rule set out of like 10. But then it depends on... Like, I feel like I'm almost at the point where I feel like squads, general squads, like Terminators, Catan, like big units with crap loads of wounds, probably shouldn't have both a feel no pain and a 4-up save and a -1 damage, right? Like, you know, like if you look at like an army like Blood Angels who do 2 damage with most of your melee, like 90% of your melee as a Blood Angels player is going to be 2 damage. You've got a couple of units that could do 1 damage, but I mean realistically you would build your army to have like 2 damage models, right? You're not going to go too hard on the 1 damage. I mean, you'll have some, but it's not really supposed to be your primary way of dealing damage, right? And then you play against like the Catan at the moment, and they take your 2 damage model and they basically reduce its damage output by 66%, because your 2 damage instantly becomes 1, and then you've got a 5-up feel no pain to deal with on top. So like before you even factor in their armor save, you've reduced your 2 damage by 66%. It's just, I just don't know how that's, just don't know how they can see that that's possible, like, as a good mechanic for balancing the game, right? I'm struggling to see that, I guess. I'm getting better in my old age. Which I haven't used since life got in the way of playing 10th edition. Alright, yeah. Well, I wouldn't buy more Vindicator tanks if you already have 2. I think there's a very good chance that they could end up as legends. Like a very, very high chance. Mr. Kazumi is excited to be running Terminators in 11th. You may be you may be an exception to the rule, Mr. Kazumi. I don't think too many Blood Angels players have been running Terminators. I was thinking about putting some back into my army list, but I guess maybe that's at this point it's so late in 10th edition, we'll probably have to do it in the new edition anyway. I'm looking forward to Legends in the app. That's the thing I'm most hyped about. Hello, Jim. I'm thinking about getting the Sanguinar next. Mephiston has been amazing for me in my last few games. I'm thinking of dropping my Ballistas and Gladiator Lancer for 3 times Brutalis. 3 Death Company Brutalis, excuse me. I struggled to get the Death Company Brutalis Dreadnoughts to work, man. I always felt that there was, again, it comes back down to AP. I just felt there was too many high AP guns in the game for me to get that damn Dreadnought across the board. Even with a 2-up save. I think I was playing Necrons. So it's like I just get Ghost Arc to AP 4, flat 4 damage. Your Dreadnought won't live long if you're getting nuked from friggin' 72 inches by Ghost Arcs with AP 4, flat 4 damage. I suppose not too many things will live long, but Death Company Dreadnoughts will not live. They don't do well against that at all. I asked ChatGPT when the Blood Angels 11th Codex will be, and it said it will be in the first 3. I mean, that's like asking your mum when the Blood Angels Codex will be. How's ChatGPT gonna know any of that? You gotta watch these AIs, man. They just make shit up. You realize they're programmed to like make stuff up rather than say to you, I don't know the answer, right? Like they will lie to you before they tell you you don't know. I bet you if you still got the chat window up, that you chatted to ChatGPT about when the codex is coming, ask it what data it used to determine that, and ask it if it just lied to you, because I'm pretty sure it just did. Because I think nobody knows when Codex Blood Angels will come in the new edition. Let alone the friggin' AI, man. My thoughts are, our Codex this edition was just over a year after the launch of the new edition. I'd probably be happy about if it was the same. I don't like it when people have to wait the entire edition to get their codex, and then you buy your codex and then it's almost out of date straight away. I kind of hate that. But you also don't really want to be one of the first codexes, because I think we were one of the first codexes in 8th edition, and our codex in 8th edition was really bad. Because you don't get any of the power creep. Like, the first codexes are generally quite well balanced, and then the power creep begins. I don't really know the logic behind it, but the power creep begins very, very quickly, it feels like. And when it begins, you'll know it begins, because all of a sudden it's like, I think in 8th edition, Sisters of Battle had their codex like 6 months in, and you just got like, can't remember what unit it was. It was like, I think it was like Dominions. It was like a really crappy unit that had like Stormbolters for Sisters of Battle. They called Dominions or something. And they could just guarantee them, they could basically guarantee every time they shot, they could now do 6 mortal wounds. Because they just shot you with so many Stormbolters, and the rule was something like every time a Stormbolter makes a hit, it's just some mortal wounds. So, yeah, that was early. That was quite early in 8th edition. Well, maybe not quite early, like a year into 8th edition. Sisters just all of a sudden, it's like, okay, you just have this bonker rule. The surge move didn't get you there. The surge move is kind of random, man. And the problem with the surge move is sometimes you surge and you don't really get to control too much of the surge, because you've got to move towards the closest model. So a surge move sounds like it's always going to be useful on paper. In reality, it can be difficult, because, like, are you going to surge out of cover? You know, like, are you going to surge out of an obscuring position at the start of your opponent's shooting phase? I know some people have had success with like double and triple Death Company Dreadnought. I found them very difficult to play effectively. And then I guess if you're playing against Necrons, like, good fucking luck, because they're just going to hit you with AP4 and all of a sudden you're saving on 6s, and if it's flat 4 damage, you only need to fail like 3 saves and then your Dreadnought's dead. So it's not very good odds, I guess, for keeping that Death Company Dreadnought alive for the points you pay for it, right? It's really bad odds, I feel like. Isn't the rumour, which is very likely, that the Rhino chassis is getting refreshed? Yes, I think that's the rumour, that the Rhino, all the Rhino tanks are probably going to be removed / refreshed. Oh, so you asked ChatGPT to look at all the previous ones. I think there's no rhyme or reason though, dude. Like, Blood Angels could be the first codex, or we could be... They typically don't put Marine codexes at the very end of the edition. They're usually a bit earlier. But I think we could be Codex 1 or we could be Codex 6. I was going to say, because we're on the box art, do we think that changes anything? It might, but I still think it just has such a big variance. I think we could be Codex 1 or we could be Codex 6, and I think ChatGPT saying it's going to be 3 is just is an educated guess. The problem is that it's just random. Like, it's like, you can't ask ChatGPT to guess you the lottery numbers, right? Well, I mean, you can, but it'll just tell you it's impossible to guess because it's just random. I use AI a lot at work. If it was possible to use AI to guess the lottery numbers, I would have done it already. You think Blood Angels might get a Christmas release? Yeah, I mean, I suppose I could see that. That's possible. A Christmas release might make sense as well, right? So yeah, maybe we'll be one of the earlier ones, but I do think you don't want to be like in those first 3 codexes, because those first 3 codexes do not get any of the bonkers power creep that they start adding to the game like a year after the edition launches. Like the sweet spot is somewhere, probably the sweet spot is like 18 months in. When the launch has sort of fizzled out and they need to, like, I guess, get some more hype, get some more sales, so they want to start releasing stuff that's overpowered. That's probably the sweet spot, honestly. I'm gonna have to go AFK for just a second. I can hear my daughter shouting for me. Yes, do I have predictions for new models? Gabriel, Seth, and Brother Corbulo. I don't think that they will leave those models. I don't think they'll leave those characters with no models. Like, look how many new Ultramarines characters and models they got recently. I think if they want to give Blood Angels a new character or a new tank or a new something, they should probably, like, lean on the ones that we've lost. You know? I think a lot of people would probably appreciate the return of the Librarian Dreadnought. I think a lot of people were upset when he got removed. I want Erlem. Yeah, I've heard people ask for Erlem multiple times now. I don't know. I bought, like, one of the Forge World Dawnbreakers. You know, I really need to make a video about getting round. I really need to actually get round to that Dawnbreaker and getting made and stuff like that. So I could get on board with something like that. I think if the Librarian Dreadnought comes back, you'll be generic. How dare you, Marius? How are you anyway, brother? You good? You managed to get yourself going with the weightlifting yet? Angel's Tears, I mean, they're a cool unit. But our our shooting rules generally are pretty poor, so a unit of Angel's Tears would be interesting, because I feel like when I shoot stuff at the moment, I feel like it always underperforms. Our shooting rules for 10th edition are pretty poor. I think Seth would get an attachment. Do you know what? That's one way they could bring Seth back in, is just give him like a little detachment, like Seth plus one squad, and they come in a little 1 point detachment, and they're almost like Eradicators always slap for me. I'm glad that the Eradicators work for you, dude. They seem like I took them like a couple of weeks ago to deal with Catan, because I keep losing to Catan, and they did fucking nothing. Shot them at Catan multiple times. I think I just suck at shooting. Like my dice know when I'm trying to shoot. Like, John, you shouldn't be shooting. You're not allowed to shoot. You're a melee army. You can only have good dice rolls if you're doing combat. Whenever you roll a shooting attack, we're going to make you either miss or fail to wound. Like, I quite often feel like I shoot my whole army and do nothing. But yeah, I've got 6 Eradicators. I really thought that they might be a good use of... Like, I put them in reserve as well, so I could just come in at the side of the board wherever the Catan was going to be, try and react to it. Yeah, and did all that, and then they did nothing. I think I even shot them at the same Catan like 3 times, and I overwatched them, the Catan as well. Did nothing. God, I hate Catan. But yeah, I can understand why Eradicators could be good. I played them before at the start of the edition when everybody was playing Gladius. I played Eradicators in a Gladius list for a while, and I think they did okay. I think they did okay for me in Gladius. I'm doing the UKTC in Leeds in June. Well, good luck, dude. I roll up the repulsor, I hop the boys out and delete a monster. Do you do 2 squads of 3 then, or do you do 6? I mean, probably just makes sense to do 2 squads of 3 so you can split fire if you need to, right? Oh dude, the new Defilers are disgusting. I played against 2 on a Wednesday night. They are just absolutely disgusting. I think when I came away from the game, I was thinking to myself in my head, I was like, I feel like the new Defilers are about 50 points too cheap. Like, I think they could be 300 points. So then I said in Discord, like the next day, I was like, oh, I lost last night against Double Defiler. I think they're probably like 30 points too cheap. So I think they should be like 280. And someone instantly replied in Discord and was like, I think they're like 50 points too cheap. 30 is generous. And I was like, oh, I thought I was just being better. I was going to say that I think they're 50 points too cheap, but I thought I was just being better about it. But yeah, it's just every single thing about those new Defilers. It's like their melee is good, their shooting is good, their movement is good, their survivability is good. Like, they just don't have a negative. And they are like not that many points. Or at least that's the feeling that I got when I played against them. Yeah, I'm not super interested in a new Gravis unit either, to be honest, Antonius. I think the Gravis unit I would have wanted to see would have been a melee Gravis unit with jump packs. Like, if you're going to give us a new Gravis unit, give us something we don't have. You know, like, don't give us more guys with fucking bolters, because we already got that. We already got 2 Gravis squads that have that, you know? Heavy Intercessors can have bolters. Inceptors can have bolters. So give us something we don't have. Like, give us a 6-man squad of Gravis with Thunderhammers and Storm Shields. Or double Lightning... Yeah, they're wearing Gravis. They don't need Storm Shields. Just give them double Lightning Claws. You know, so we'd have had a jump unit of Gravis with Lightning Claws. I bet that unit would have looked sick. And it would have been an interesting alternative, like, you know, to Terminators with Lightning Claws. You now have a fast-moving unit, but you don't have invulnerable saves, because that's Gravis' downfall, right? No invuln save. I don't know, I think if you'd given me an hour of time, I feel like I could have brainstormed a few better ideas of Gravis than another unit with bolters. I suppose time will tell. Watch in 6 months' time when we're all running tons of Gravis with bolt rifles, I guess. Is that a thing that's going to happen? Probably not. It might. Gravis jumpers with heavy Thunderhammers. There we go. Yeah, that would have been a good way to get some damage 3 into the Space Marines melee, wouldn't it? That would have been nice. I could have been on board with that. A good idea for GW would be a jump pack snipers or jump pack eliminators. I mean, they kind of try to do some sort of jump pack shooting unit with the suppressors, man, and the suppressors have never taken off, I feel like. You know, like, there was just something that didn't work with suppressors. I'm not really quite sure what it was, but something obviously just didn't work. Guys, if you get 2 seconds tonight and you would be so kind as to leave a like on the stream, that would be really appreciated. Do you think they'd make Dante's Axe damage 3? I think we deserve a character that has damage 3. I think it's crazy that we're a melee army and we have no way of getting damage 3 out with, like, friggin' Centurions. Not that I dislike Centurions, but, like, come on, it's a 4-inch move. If you want to make Centurions work, it feels like you have to do a lot of work to make Centurions work. You know, like, you need to have a transport for them, or you need to advance and charge them. Like, there's no easy way. Like, as a jump pack fast moving army, Centurions are literally, you know, they're the slowest shit ever. And they refuse to give suppressors a kit. I mean, I think they just couldn't figure out the rules for suppressors. I think suppressors probably needed to be in Gravis armor. You know, like, when you have a squad that's only 3 guys and their toughness 4, they're just too easy to kill. The Sanguiner needs a rework. Well, yeah, I mean, the Sanguiner will need a rework because Fight First has been, I guess, overhauled significantly, right? So he's not a great character anymore. I liked his rules. I think it was in 8th edition. I don't know if you remember. He used to have an aura that gave all Blood Angels within 6 inches of him +1 attack, I believe it was. Which was a very powerful aura for Blood Angels. So I would quite like if the Sanguiner needs to be reworked, I'd totally be up for him getting his aura back, because I thought his aura was really good. But yeah, if he stays as like a fight first character, he's definitely a lot weaker, right? But yeah, I think it was in 8th edition. I used to always run him. I ran him over Dante, I think, just because I thought that +1 attacks was just super good. It's a pity because I really like the Sanguinar's new model. I think his new model is definitely like a solid glow up in terms of like the sculpt, right? He looks very, very well. Before he just kind of looked like a, I don't know. He wasn't imposing before, I guess. I feel like he's a bit imposing now. I quite like it. Immune to battle shock. Yeah, he's got a battle shock rule at the moment, right? I mean, I'm still holding out hope that we get access to some sort of. Well, obviously we don't get a Primarch, so that I feel like the I mean, I was gonna say give us the friggin' flying dreadnought from Horus Heresy. I'll take that. I think it's called the Incendiary Dreadnought, the one that's got the jump pack. I mean, the Librarian Dreadnought could fly for a while, that was cool as well. But just a flat up flying Dreadnought? Yeah, give me that. Never say never in terms of Primarch. I think the lower crew will I was going to say they'll oh, what's the word I'm looking for? They'll revolt Marius if we get our Primarch back. I think it's too controversial. That Dreadnought is my favourite model ever. What, this one I'm painting? Or you just mean a Ballistus Dreadnought in general? Or oh, you mean the Flying Dreadnought? Yeah. I get you. Yeah, I think we should get the Flying Dreadnought. Give us that. That would be cool. I think that's a bit cooler than... as much as the Angel's Tears would be cool, or the Dawnbreaker Cohorts would be cool. The Flying Dreadnought with the... because he's got like, well, it's just Dreadnought Claws, isn't it? I was going to say it's like Lightning Claws. I suppose it looks a bit like Lightning Claws. Yeah, I would take that Flying Dreadnought for sure. You have 2 Incendious Dreadnoughts. Nice. What do you use? Oh, you probably play 30k, do you? Lower side, a Primaris Sanguinius 40k model is the potential to look amazing. Can Primarchs become Primaris? Is that even a thing? I don't... I mean, Sanguinius is long gone, though. He's in the warp. All we've got is a little bit of his blood. I mean, I feel like in the 41st millennium they could just clone him, though, from his blood, though, right? What's the deal with You were up on your lore. Can we not clone people yet in the 41st millennium, Marius? We can't clone him. We've got some of his blood, right? It's in the Red Grail. Clint says, I just want to thank you for helping me through my Blood Angels journey. I started over a year ago and I've been learning from you since day one. I just wanted to give you the credit. Clint, that's very kind of you, dude. Thank you for the... Thanks for the nice message, dude. I appreciate it. There's a bunch of cloned Primarchs. There you go. So why can't we get Sanguinius cloned? All these heretics getting cloned. Why can't we get someone cloned? Sanguinius will return. As long as they don't return him the same way that they returned like Palpatine in Star Wars with a single throwaway line from a character, right? Then people will probably be okay with it. Probably going to put Gene Stealer. Yeah, as long as they don't do exactly that quote, Antonius, I think it'll be okay. I don't think it's ever been confirmed that they can be Primaris, but there's no point to them becoming one because they're basically Democrats. And if they become one, it would mess up their actual gene seed and would change the way they operate. Yeah, I mean, I guess what Marius just means is a Primaris scale Sanguinius. Yeah, they released the Codex and Sanguinius is just in there. There's just a page for him. Like, and at the top of the page it just says, somehow Sanguinius returned. Man, there's so much drama with Star Wars at the moment. I haven't really been following it, but I have been following... I think the Mandalorian movie came out this week, and they're already saying, like... I don't want to say it's going to underperform, because it's probably too early, but they're definitely saying that, like... the box office isn't that strong. And I was like, yeah, but... I feel like... I feel like they just don't know what they're doing with Star Wars anymore. I mean, to a certain extent, it feels like Disney doesn't know what they're doing with Marvel. They've had to bring everybody back for that as well. Because I thought, like, Captain America was done, he's coming back. Iron Man was done, he's coming back. Magneto and who's the other actor? Patrick Stewart, they're coming back. I actually kind of like Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart, but at the same time, those guys must be like almost 90 now. Like, we don't have anyone fresh. We have to get back Magneto and or the original, the OG Magneto and the OG, like, that's what's going to pull us back to the movie theaters. They should have used the young characters, I feel like. Who was it? Like James McAvoy and Fassbender. I thought they were alright in X-Men. At least they're not, like, nothing against Patrick Stewart in that, but I mean, like, I'm going to take a guess and I'm going to say Ian McKellen is 88 years old and Patrick Stewart is 84, right? That's my guess. Let me have a look. Ian McKellen, I said 88, he is, dun dun dun, 86. Okay, that's pretty close. Patrick Stewart, I said 84, he is 85. Yeah, I mean, like, good on them for still doing movies and stuff in their, that's literally their late 80s. But yeah, I think Disney is just, they're screwed, man. They don't, there's been too many Marvel movies, there's been too many Star Wars movies, something like that, I don't know. But yeah, when your lore is such and such returned, you're not in great shape, are you? You're really not. They could use the blood entity saying that his death, his soul fractured and was reformed into his original warp construct and make him a loyalist demon Primarch. Do you know what? I'd be happy if he's a loyalist demon Primarch. I'd just be happy for a big nasty model that, yeah, a big nasty demony model that gives us a new option. I'd be okay with that. It's sad I can't be bothered with the new Star Wars film. Yeah, I feel the same, man. Star Wars used to be the IP that I cared the most about, and like now I'm not even up to date. Like I don't even know what the last season was. The Acolyte or something. I didn't watch it. Yeah. I made a custom Death Company Dreadnought with a giant angel wing last year. Unfortunately, never got to play it or any other model I customized. The 40k community is dead in my area. Oh, dude, that sucks. There's no store near you or nothing you can get to. It's just completely dead. If things are dead, then what I would try and do is find the nearest big town or big city that does tournaments. And I would register for like a 2-day tournament. Like it could be a 1-day tournament, I suppose, if you've never really had a chance to play before. I would register a tournament and I would just go and I would just try and I wouldn't even focus on winning games. I would just focus on making friends and trying to have some fun. Because I've made friends at almost every tournament that I'm at, where like after the tournament, you know, like Marius, for example, Marius lives like probably 2 hours drive from me. But like we met at a tournament, and then after the tournament at one point I was like, dude, if you want to come and play a game of 40k, even though it's a 2-hour drive, you're more than welcome. And I think we played, like he drove up here and we played for the first time, like I think it was, I'm going to say it was last summer, but my brain is shit at remembering times and dates and stuff like that. So we played in the last year, right? Marius lives like 200 miles, maybe not 200, but at least 100. If Sanguinius came back, what would that do to the curse? Maybe the curse is gone. Maybe the Death Company that are Death Company are the last of their generation. We're overdue for a rematch. Yeah, let's get a rematch in 11th edition, Marius. Yeah, let's do it. Let's see if we can do it like on a weekend this time, though, so you don't have to drive home at like fucking midnight. And we can go out for like a burger or something for lunch, you know? My personal headcanon, I don't know if the lore has anything to do with to back it up. Sanguinius' spirit is split, and we'll get Gabriel Seth and his Rage and Corbolo and his Cam, and there are going to be our supercharged characters. I don't really mind what character we got. Like I would just like to get one supercharged character. Yeah. Like something. they would still relive him going through the pain of dying. Yeah, I mean, like, he's still being killed by Horus. That doesn't, like, even if he comes back, that pain still exists. That pain's still in the gene seed, right? Like, you can't just get rid of it, I imagine. Maybe? I think the Lion returning has really messed things up for other characters. Before, it was kind of nice you could run Rebooty with everybody. Yeah, I quite like. I think it was the end of last edition, so it was the end of 9th edition. You could have Rebooty team up in a Blood Angels list, and honestly, I thought it was kind of dope. I don't think enough Blood Angels people did it, because Rebooty's buffs, I don't know if you remember his buffs, but they stacked so nicely with Blood Angels, because Rebooty had an aura of like +1 to charge, wasn't it? +1 to charge. And it would stack with the Blood Angels +1 to charge, and he had a giant. The aura was giant, like 12 inches or something. So you just had this giant aura of +2 to charge within 12 inches of Rebooty, and Rebooty's really in the middle of the table. So it was like you could just drop any deep strike unit remotely close to Rebooty, and then it was like, oh cool, all my deep strikes are just getting +2 to their charge, and then all of a sudden, Blood Angels deep strike +2 on the charge, really fucking strong. It's the same thing with Hugh Jackman and Wolverine, I suppose. Yeah. At some point they're going to recast Wolverine, surely, because Hugh Jackman can't. I mean, I feel like you can be Professor X or Magneto when you're 86. I'm pretty sure you can't be Wolverine when you're 86, right? I mean, you could try. Wolverine in like the Professor X chair, you know, he trundles over to you really slowly in his chair and then gets you with his claws. Like you won't see it coming because you think he's just old and slow. Doesn't really work. What about TTS? Do you know what? A lot of people do you know what? One of the biggest tournaments of the year, Adepticon, is in Chicago, though, Stabby. And last year, I know for a fact, there was like 3 or 4 people from the channel. Well, I say from the channel. That 3 or 4 people that watch the channel went to Adepticon. Because one of them invites me every year. He's like, you've got to come to Adepticon. I'd love to. It's just thousands and thousands of dollars to come from the UK, right? But I know at least like 3 people around Adepticon time. There's always people on the channel, like in my live streams, asking like, who's going to Adepticon? Who's going to Adepticon? So yeah, I would go to Adepticon, man, and if nothing else, maybe try and meet. You know, like, although you're saying like the 40k stream in your area is dead, there might be someone that just lives down the road from you that's going to be at Adepticon, you know? You just don't know it because there's no real scene. But yeah, a lot of people play Tabletop Simulator. I keep meaning to get into it, but I'm just at a point in my life where like my free time is so limited. I feel like on the weekends I don't really get free time for my, like, this is my, like, this time that I'm streaming, this is the time that would be my free time. You know, like the rest of the day it's like kids, housework, chores, exercise. There just isn't, I just don't feel like I really have free time to learn and play Tabletop Simulator, I guess. Yeah, I don't think they'll resurrect the Emperor because I don't think they'd be able to give him rules, man. I think if they tried to resurrect the Emperor, his rules would be, I think it would be too difficult to give him rules. Like, I think he'd just be too strong. I definitely hope for a way to do Crimson Paladin or Angel's Tears. It would work well as support. There's also potential for Librarian Dreadnought. Yeah, I mean, there's a weird Librarian Dreadnought you can build at the moment with those, what are they called? Like the custom characters. I never actually built one. I guess they were more for like Crusade games, and I never really played Crusade. Or casual games. I always end up playing tournaments. But hey, in the new edition, there's going to be a little bit more crossover, isn't there? With the narrative play and the competitive play. I guess we'll see how that goes. How fun and fast are Marine armies to play? The big reason I want to collect Blood Angels is the speed. I mean, I often have talked about... I mean, I've probably lost count how many times I've said it on the channel. Your biggest strength as a Blood Angels player is your speed. Because, I mean, we hit decently in melee, but there's definitely other armies that will do more in melee than us. Like, World Eaters will hit stronger. So yeah, it really comes down to how much you like an army of jump pack guys jumping all over the table and being maneuverable, and our durability isn't that great. It's our speed that is great. So how fun is it to play? I mean, it's a fun army. You get to roll a lot of dice in combat. Can be probably has quite a high skill ceiling. Yeah, that would be, you know, high learning curve, high skill ceiling. Yeah, because you'll need a lot of practice to be good at jumping around and making the right moves and knowing when to engage and when to hide and stuff like that. I've been playing Blood Angels now like damn near 20 years and I'm still not... I was going to say, I've still not mastered it all, right? I still struggle with certain builds. Alright, it's now the pain part of the model where I have to try my best not fuck up all the little edges. It's usually around now that I regret having decided to paint the Dreadnought plaque rather than just the standard red. It'll be fine. It'll look good in the end. What do you think Blood Angels will get released in 11th edition? Gabriel, Seth, and some sort of standalone unit of Flesh Tearers. Because I think too many Flesh Tearers players probably lost out. Right, because they would have all had their Gabriel Seth model and they lost their chapter master, and he's not dead, right? Like, there hasn't been a book where it's like Gabriel Seth is dead. That'd be a good title for a book though, wouldn't it? Gabriel Seth is dead. No, I don't think he is dead. I think he'll be released. I mean, if historically how it's been going, it seems like you'll get one character and one model, or if you're lucky enough to get a bigger refresh, you might get like 2 characters in a model. So, like 2 characters in a unit is what I mean. So yeah, I think we'll I think our characters will probably be Seth or Corbolo. And like maybe there's a unit that goes with them. Or there might even be a Death Company refresh, because the Death Company have been in such a weird situation. Yeah, they've been in a weird situation, I guess, where like there's no official Death Company models. There hasn't been for like a year at this point. So maybe we're all hoping for something and it's just going to end up being the Death Company refresh. Who knows, I guess. I do think it might be nice to have a Death Company unit that's a little bit easier to understand, because the one that we've got is just all over the place in terms of, you know, 2 power fists, sorry, 3 power, like I can't even get it right, 3 power fists, 2 eviscerators, 5 chain swords, 2 infernal pistols, 2 plasma pistols, and 6 bolt pistols. It's just such a confusing unit. And like fighting with a unit like that is so confusing. It's really hard to do the mental math in your head as well when you're fighting, because you're like trying to position the models and you're trying to split attacks. It just feels like you're trying to do a lot. Yeah, maybe it'll be a Death Company refresh. I don't know what else. I don't know what else they would do, honestly. Has there ever been an edition where more than 10 Death Company was viable? Yeah, ages ago, man. When Death Company were first released, you were only allowed 1 unit of Death Company. And before the battle began, I believe you rolled a d6 for every other unit that you had in your army. And like, I can't remember the number, but probably like on a 6 or a 1, one of those models just joined the Death Company. So you just had this one giant Death Company unit. You couldn't really control how big it was. You couldn't really, yeah, like some games it would be fucking ginormous, other games it would be medium. But then it also back then had a bonkers rule, I believe, where you had to move towards the closest unit at maximum speed all the time, and if you could make a charge, you had to make the charge. They've kind of taken away those like non-interacting rules now, but when it first released, it was one Death Company, as big as based on the number of dice you rolled, and you also couldn't really control it. I think all the recent editions I can think of, it sort of changed. I think 10 is the sort of standard size. It was the most lore accurate Death Company back then. Yeah, but it was also super frustrating as well, because if you had a squad of Terminators who you'd paid extra points for to have like Thunderhammers and Terminator armor, you rolled the dice before the game started and it was like, oh, that Terminator's joining the Death Company. Well, he gives up his Terminator armor and he puts on regular power armor. And he gives up his Thunderhammer and stuff like that. So it was lore accurate, but it was also probably a bit shit for balance. Probably for a lack of a better word, it was just a bit shit.
For the Emperor!
Shadow Knight, thank you so much for 47 months of membership, dude. For the Emperor. If I could change one unit for 11th, what would you do? Oh, good question. Huh. That is a good question. What's my favourite unit that I don't get to play very often? I'm not going to say Vanguard Veterans. That's going to be too controversial with them getting a new release. I liked what we were talking about earlier in terms of a Gravis unit with jump packs and double lightning claws. But that's not really changing a unit, is it? That's just like, what do I like? Or what do I think is cool? In 8th, you could have 15-man blobs of Death Company. Was it as big as that in 8th? I don't remember. 8th wasn't that long ago. I should have remembered that. Maybe I just didn't run 15-man Death Companies. Maybe it felt like too many eggs in one basket for me. I don't know. Oh, it's a good question. What would I change? One unit. Crozier says, hey Commander, I'm currently 3-0 at a 5-game GT, so I've got to go back tomorrow. The last 2 games, I'm kind of nervous. Wish me luck. I'm playing Deathwatch though. The maps were too open for Blood Angels. Well, if you've gone 3-0, they can't have been all too much open. Must have been able to cover a little bit. I know what it feels like going 3-0 on day 1 of a tournament, Crozier. My advice to you would be go to bed early. It's only 10 o'clock. You want to be in bed by like 10:30. Go and study all the... Because if you've gone 3-0, there's probably only about... Because if it's 32 players, there'll be 16 people that went 1-0. There'll be 8 people that go 2-0. So there's only 4... There's probably only 4 or 5 people that can potentially go 3-0, right? So you probably only have, like, worst case, even if it's a big tournament of like 50 people, worst case you've got like 10 lists. Go look at all 10 lists. Anything that you don't know about those 10 lists, read up on it tonight, and then get an early bed. And then kick ass tomorrow. That's my advice. There's 270 people at the event. Oh well, you're fucked. Okay. Well, good job going 3-0. That's impressive. My advice changes to go to bed early and pray. Pray to the gods of the Imperium of Man. Clint says I'd be fine with the Death Company refresh. Yeah, I would. I liked when the Death Company could have all the different weapon options. Do you know, I'm gonna answer the question. If I could change one unit for 11th edition, what would I change? I would change it so that the Sangre Guard were allowed an Infernal Pistol in every model again. Because Angelus bolt guns fucking suck. Like, there's almost no point shooting your Angelus bolters. They do nothing. They're supposed to be like these wrist-mounted pinnacle of Blood Angels technology. They suck. You gotta do some calculations against fighting Necrons. Oh man. Necrons. I feel like they're... Necrons to me feel like they're like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man of this edition, you know that? Don't say their name 3 times. You know, the Victrix Guard got really nice bolters in their refresh. I believe the Victrix Guard's bolt pistols are like... kind of like I think it's like 2 shots, AP1, flat 2 damage. Like if that was the profile that Angelus Bolters had, I would feel probably okay with them. I feel like it's the profile they should have. It's just not what they have. But remember, my Math Hammer tool is available, Crozier, so if you need to use it, you can... It's free. You can use it to do your maths against the Necrons. So on Monday this week, Games Workshop are doing a match. Did you guys hear about that? They're taking like the... they're taking like the army from the 11th edition starter box set, building out to 2,000 points, and it's going to be like a live match on their YouTube channel, I believe. Remember when Angelus Bolters had rending shells? Yeah, I remember multiple editions actually where Angelus Bolters were pretty good. And that's I was kind of saying this earlier in this stream, right? As we get closer to, like at the start of the edition, if you get your codex too early in the edition, you can get some really poor rules, and I think that's kind of what Angelus Bolters got. Like, I don't even think we got that codex super early, but the Angelus Bolters certainly got screwed. Like, they are a terrible weapon in this edition. If you could change one model, you would change Astaroth. What would you change with Astaroth? I liked last edition when Astaroth was more like a beat stick and he had like, you know, the 4 damage potential. I think last edition you could have 7 attacks with 4 damage. It was pretty nice. God, my hand isn't steady tonight. Doesn't Astaroth get Sangre Garden lore? No, he gets... I think in the book, he... Because there's an Astaroth book that came out recently. But he definitely had like Honor... Was it Honor Guard, I think? Honor Guard was definitely something that all Blood Angels had before, because Dante used to have Honor Guard, right? Yeah, they also had Assault, I believe, in one of the previous editions on the Angelus bolt guns, because you used to be able to move 12 inches with your flying jump packs, then advance, and then shoot with like 18-inch assault. So you could be picking off units like quite far away with those Angelus bolt guns. So they were quite decent, at least at one point. Yeah, they didn't get... I'm pretty sure they didn't give him Earlham in the book, in the Astaroth book. It came out recently, right? I think it's called Astaroth Angel of Mercy. And I'm like 90% sure he just had regular Marines with him. Hello. What are you poking in for? Why are your trousers off?
Because I was a bit sweaty.
You were sweaty. What's happening? I'm gonna say, if summer has finally come to Scotland, my daughter is sweaty in her bed, so she's taking her trousers off. I thought that there was going to be an accident for me to have to go deal with. No. Because that's usually the only reason that the kids would have their trousers off, is like they've peed on the floor. It's like having dogs. It's shown when Seth goes to Astor's hideout on Baal to confront him about killing Flesh Tearer's death company. Which book is this? I haven't read... I started reading the book about, I think it was, there was a Flesh Tearer's book I was reading. I'm probably got like 2 or 3 chapters into it. Realised everybody was really angry, and then I can't remember why I stopped reading it. Probably just... I should finish it. Was it called Lords of the Fallen or something like that? It's Seth's short story. Like, and it's in one of the omnibuses or something? Ah. Man, I hate edge highlighting. I've made such a mess. I'm gonna have to go back with like the black paint and spend like a whole session cleaning up my mess. Literally always happens. Hello Jason, good evening. You fine? What's new? What's good? Maybe what I'll do is I'll edge highlight the top of the dreadnought and then clean up the top and then do legs afterwards, so I don't just have one super messy dreadnought that needs everything cleaned up at once. That might be a better idea. Sorry late to the stream, but now I've hit the like button. I appreciate it, Jason. Are you excited about, I guess the 11th edition pre-order opening up? Anyone in chat not pre-ordering the new box? Or is everyone going to get the new box and models and all that good stuff? I feel like I'm going to pre-order it. It'll give me the rule book, and then it'll give me 2 land speeders, because I'm going to trade the orcs Obviously don't care about the orcs, so I'm going to trade the orcs to someone that plays orcs, I guess. Good evening, Mr. Bearded Coyote. How's things? You play Battletech? Oh, that's cool. I've never actually played Battletech. I managed to sell all my Star Wars Legion stuff that I bought this month that I never actually played. So I'm pleased with that. I wasn't sure it would sell. I heard people weren't really interested in Star Wars Legion anymore, but all the models I had sold like super quick within like 2 or 3 weeks. I sold everything. Like 7 eBay auctions. I didn't even promote them either, because I guess if you promote your auctions on eBay, they then take like, it's not too bad, but they take like 12 or 15% of your earnings, and I was like, man, I think that's a con. I find the models feel uninspired, but as Space Marines you can't find a better deal. Yeah, I'm already thinking about like how I'm going to try and convert the 2 land speeders to feel more Blood Angels, right? Because the land speeders are just going to feel very generic. And I want them to somehow feel like they're going to be more Blood Angels land speeders. Ian is working on his Dawn of War box from a few weeks back. He got the deal from Germany. Yeah, that's a cool deal if you can find it. I gave the co-pilot of my Thunderstrike a Grail and he's toasting it. That's a good idea. The co-pilot's not driving, right? So he's allowed to have an alcoholic drink. Is that correct? It was, you'd pronounce it Owen. Sorry, in Scotland, E-O-I-N is pronounced Ian. Because we used to have a famous football player called Ian Jess. I will try and remember to pronounce it as Owen, by the way. Thank you. I wish the Eradicators were las cannons. Right? If those Eradicators had las cannons, how cool would that have been? A 3-man unit of las cannons. That's what we wanted. We didn't need more Eradicators with the same fucking guns that they already have. Is it a long weekend for you across the pond? Do you know what? Monday is a bank holiday, Jason, but I'll be working because... not that I necessarily want to be working, but it's because childcare. In the summer we have to pay for childcare and it's ridiculous expensive. So I take my summer holidays. So I work the bank holiday so that I can take more holidays in the summer and then save on childcare. Because both my kids are young enough that, like, if the schools are closed, then we need to put them both to childcare. So at that point, like, if I was, it's a lot more cost effective for me to work the bank holiday or the long weekend and then take the time in the summer. I think that's quite common now here, just because childcare is so expensive. Imagine running a biologist with 6 las cannon devastators. Yeah, that would have been if those eradicators had las cannons, man. That would have been so good. You're right. What would be dope is if one of the Space Marine dreadnoughts got the Defiler treatment. We just get like a giant Defiler thing. Sure, I can get on board with that. Why not? A super powerful Redemptor Ballistus. I don't know what you would even call it. Yeah, I'm on board. Sanguinius in a Dreadnought, I've been saying it for years. People keep talking about Dante in a Dreadnought, which is funny because he just got a new model. I feel like because he got a new model, the chances of him being in a Dreadnought is super unlikely. Working a bank holiday seems like an easy day. Well, I'll be quiet in my office. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, you know. I actually have unlimited work from home days, but I don't use them because I just find myself that I'm more productive when I go to the office. So I only ever work from home like if like one of my kids is ill or something, because I just generally am much more productive in the office. I think it also gives me more mental clarity. You know, like this room here, I suppose, is like my I call it my office. Like in the house, I call it the office. But I make YouTube videos in here, sure. I suppose that's probably why I call it the office, because technically that is work. But like it's separate from the day job, right? I'm my own boss. Like if there was a week where if I was like, I'm not making a YouTube video this Friday, I could just do it, right? Because I've got, you know, I'm my own boss for my YouTube channel, right? So although I call this my office, it's completely different from like, at least it feels completely different from the quote-unquote work/day job, right? Yeah, I think that was what was happening with COVID, right? Like, I couldn't believe this, man. You realise like, because we went back to work, I think we went back to work, I think it was like October 2021 or something. Is that right? October 2021 was when our office reopened. So we've almost been back to work for 5 years since COVID. I was like, fucking hell, that's crazy. I don't know where the 5 years has gone. Time marches relentlessly onward, as they say. But anyway, 5 years since COVID. Nonsense. But yeah, I found that with COVID in that like I would be working from home all the time, and then I found it really hard to separate. You know, like I finished my 8 hours for work. I now need to like separate my brain, because it's like I'm still sitting in the exact same chair, I'm still in the exact same place, but I'm no longer working. I'm now trying to relax. Like maybe, you know, like I might have even been like playing a video game or something, but it's because you were in the exact same spot that you were just working in. It's like hard to mentally separate the two. So it probably might not make sense to you. It made sense to me. I found it difficult. So yeah, in general, if I'm, like I said, unless one of my kids needs me to stay at home, you know, because they're off school sick or something, I genuinely always go to the office. Just because I know I will be more productive there. It's not like I won't do it. It's not like I'm not going to work from home. But I just think that being in that environment gives me better clarity, or helps me separate the spaces in my head better, or something. Oh, it's nice to hear some of you guys feel the same way then. I figured I was just weird. I mean, I am weird. And as much as I complain about edge highlighting, I do think the black dreadnoughts do look super dope. Like, obviously, all the edge highlighting I've done tonight is rough, and it's all going to need time and effort to tidy up. But, like, you can see where it's going, and I think it's going to look dope. I really like the black dreadnoughts. I've got this one here. And yeah, it took me ages, and probably other people have done better edge highlighting on dreadnoughts than I have. But I mean, as a battle ready painter, I think it's dope. Highly recommend. If you've never done a black dreadnought, you should do it. I mean, they're releasing so many of the same chassis now, right? You've got three, you could have 3 Redemptors, you could have 3 Ballistas, you could have 3 Brutalis, you could have 3 Death Company. That's 12 in the same chassis. At some point, painting them red's going to get boring. I think I've got 4 painted red. Is it 4? No, 5, because I've got 5. No, maybe it's 4 red, and this is going to be the 3rd black one. Used to swap chairs to try and feel like things were different. I don't blame you. Yeah, I think it's I think I would struggle with work from home. I mean, I managed it for COVID. I could probably manage it again, but I think I prefer having the separation or the separate space. I think that's the simplest way to say is like I liked having a different space to go into. I wasn't sure I was going to get to edge highlighting tonight, so I'm somewhat pleased that I've made a start on it. I'm not playing this model at the moment, so it means that I can just put him to the side and keep chipping away at him. I'm probably gonna be painting on Wednesday night this week. I'm probably not doing a battle report. Like I said, Andrew doesn't want to play anymore. He's waiting for 11th edition, so the only opponent I've probably got is Colin's Death Guard again. I might play Colin next week, like if we still don't have a 10th edition. God, that was horrible. Some of these lines are a pain in the arse to paint. You know that? That one was horrible. Oh well, we're definitely going to be doing a whole... the next stream, the first hour of it, is going to be me tidying up this horrible edge highlighting. Or maybe it's not horrible, but it certainly could be neater, right? I painted my Ballistas as Death Company 2 because of rerolls. Oh right, because it gets some rerolls, you painted it Death Company colours. Clever. 20th of June is the rumour date. 20th of June, you mean the rumour date for pre-order, or the rumour date for we're actually getting the box in our hands on the 20th? That was rough. Launch, release, 20th. Okay. Well, I was going to say, if it is the 20th, I'll probably end up with at least one more battle report before then, because that's quite a long time away. But yeah, this Wednesday I'm just going to be probably cracking on in this guy. But yeah, sorry, I got distracted. Monday. On Monday, there's a battle report, a Games Workshop official battle report, where they're using the new list, or the new art, they're using the new Armageddon box, and they've built it out into 2000 release. 6th of June is the pre-order window. Nice, okay. As soon as that's actually announced, I'll probably just kick out a small video on it. Ignore my sighing, it's just my crappy edge highlighting. It takes me longer probably to do the cleanup than it will me to do the first draft of it. Run a detachment you've never run? Yeah, I mean, that's probably the way to do it. I saw some people running that detachment, Hammer of Averni. That looked really interesting, actually. And I've got a lot of Terminators, so I feel like I could totally run Hammer of Averni. I'm maybe not pronouncing that right, but it's basically one of the Imperial Fist detachments. Fancy expensive brushes? Oh yeah, I should probably be using a newer brush. This brush is absolutely destroyed. I'm very good at, I feel like, using brushes way past their sell-by date. It's fine. Do you know what? I feel like as much as I've been moaning, I haven't made as many mistakes as I possibly thought I would have. And it won't take long to tidy them up. I just get the black paint out and then slap it back together within. It'll take minutes. I'm just moaning. I'm a moaner. But yeah, I did actually buy like a bunch of new brushes. I just put them somewhere. I'm the worst at putting things. You ever do that? You put stuff in quote unquote a safe place. God, I'm forever doing it. Like, I've got a system in my house where like I always put the car keys in the same place, or I always put my wallet in the same place. Always put my watch in the same place, because I think if I didn't put them in the same place, I would lose them literally every single day. Always put my wedding ring in the same place. But like when I get like new brushes or something, I'm like, oh, like I don't want my kids to find the new brushes and like destroy them or use them for kids crafting or something. So I've put them somewhere safe, and now like I was looking for them for like an hour today, and I was like, I cannot find these brushes, and I know I bought them because I've got the receipt, so I bought them. Oh, I should have mentioned, I'm only here for like 10 more minutes tonight, by the way, because I've promised the wife that I'm going to spend a little bit of time with her. So I've got to log off in like 10 minutes. But I should have mentioned earlier, I finally took the plunge. Angelic Host is not too bad with Sangregard. You know what? I never played Angelic Host, dude. It just always felt like a detachment without +1 to wound was going to really struggle. I mean, I guess the Sangregard have been buffed a little bit since then. Yeah, my hope was to get the top half of this Dreadnought done. Because if the top half was done, then I could tidy it up and do the legs next time. I have receipts, yeah, exactly. I have receipts. Yeah, so, no, speaking of receipts, hello, Cogger. I ordered the AI camera today. I've been banging on it. I've been banging on about buying one for ages. So YouTube paid me today. So I've ordered the AI camera for the battle report room today. And I've also ordered, I believe, a better sound, what was it? A noise cancelling Bluetooth sound system for the battle report today. So I think it said it's coming on Tuesday, so it'll come this week. I probably won't have it set up. Well, I don't even think I'm doing a battle report this week, so probably won't have it set up this week, but I've been banging on about wanting to get a better, well, not even getting a better camera, getting another camera, an AI camera for the battle report. What's the camera? Like a camera that will track us around the room while we play. So if you've been watching any of the new battle reports, you'll notice that the overhead camera, the one that looks at the map, moves around a little bit. YouTube paid him 20 pence. Dude, you do not even know how much YouTube, like the percentage of money they take from what I earn is disgusting. You know, you think taxes are bad. Wait till you see what YouTube like. It's literally probably 50% on everything. It's disgusting. I guess it's their platform, right? But yeah, it's gross. You would think you were doing well, and then you see what you actually get, and you're like, oh wow. The AI camera. Back to the AI camera. So if you've watched the battle reports recently, we've got the overhead camera that like it now moves around, it zooms in, it pans around slowly. It's called breathing, and it's a custom overhead camera script that I wrote. So like the overhead camera now breathes essentially, so it like moves around the board a little bit, gives better angles, right? So now what we have, or the evolution, like the next step, will be, as well as the overhead camera like moving around the board, and as well as the static camera that we already have that like looks across the board at the dice tray, there'll be a third camera in the room now. And the third camera will be an AI powered camera. So it's like, I literally went to Amazon and typed AI camera in, and it said it was good for like church services and stuff. So I guess like if you have a church and you had like your pastor at the front of the church like walking around, the camera can zoom in on him. There's a better microphone with noise cancelling, so hopefully, you know, if someone farts or something, you won't hear it. And yeah, so I'll write a script that hopefully means that, like, it just means our battle reports will be better, right? Like, more camera angles. It'll feel more interactive. You know, like, my channel's not big enough where we, like, can afford to pay someone to just sit there and, like, change cameras and stuff. So hopefully having an AI camera will let it feel more produced, feel more dynamic, feel more high quality. That's the hope anyway. I'll probably get it and not be able to figure it out, but it's been ordered. Because I've been banging on about wanting to get one for ages. I want to get it set up before 11th edition. I wanted the battle reports to feel higher quality for the new edition. So yeah, that's what I'm aiming for. So finally the AI camera is ordered. So yeah, maybe like the last 10th edition battle report, we'll have the camera set up, and then hopefully means that, like, when 11th launches, we'll be rolling with it, if that makes sense. I think your battle reports are one of the best non-pro ones. Thanks, dude. Well, I think our battle reports are a little bit too casual to be pro, right? Like, we swear a little bit too much, we joke around possibly a little bit too much. We also don't, like, if someone forgets something in a turn, we probably don't berate them over it. We just say, yeah, you can do the thing you forgot to do. So yeah, I think I'm happy enough with the battle reports, but I think there's always, I've heard, like, some people always moan about the microphone, so, well, I don't have a good track record of buying microphones, but we've got a new one coming. I remember when I bought this microphone I'm using right now, when I bought it, literally my friend Tony was like, why'd you buy that microphone? It's like, oh god, I just spent like $300 on a microphone, don't tell me it's the wrong one. I'm not a microphone person. I know a bit about cameras now, just because I guess I've bought a bunch of them, but I don't know fuck all about AI cameras. So, hopefully the one I've bought is going to work. You're talking about people that do it for their job. I appreciate that, man. I certainly appreciate it. I mean, technically this is kind of a job for me as well, so. But yeah, I don't think many other streams have, like, overhead cameras that move around like my stream now. And I don't think I've seen any that have, like, an AI camera that's, like, following the people that are playing around. So that could be that nobody's done it, or it could be it's just not a good idea. Regardless, I'm doing it, I guess. Alright, I am somewhat happy with this Dreadnought. He's progressing. He's going to need a lot of tidy up next session, but he is definitely progressing. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out. I always do appreciate it. Please do leave a like button if you enjoyed the stream. We are still doing our Armulus show on a Sunday night at the moment. It's a little bit shorter than normal because the end of the edition is so close, but I mean, I'll be here tomorrow night to talk about, we'll probably do like 4, maybe 5 Armulus. Like, maybe it's like the Armulus show is just 45 minutes at the moment as opposed to maybe it's normal like hour and 15 minutes sort of, I would say. So I'll do Armulus show tomorrow, 45 minutes or so. We'll go over some community submitted lists. Oh, just smashed the camera. But yeah, thank you so much for watching tonight. Please do consider leaving a like, and remember we do have a Discord which has a lot of Blood Angels players in it. It's probably a good place to be with the new edition coming, so if that's something you're interested in, consider joining on the Discord. But yeah, Games Workshop are doing a battle report for 11th edition on Monday night, I believe it is. So if you're interested, and it's using the new Blood Angels list, so I guess if you're interested in that, Monday night, I guess, try and find some time to watch the official stream. I'm probably going to watch it, and then I'll maybe make a video about it, because I'm sure we'll learn a couple of new things about the new edition. So it should be interesting to check out anyway. Alright, I'm out of here, guys. Thanks very much for watching. Have a lovely evening. We'll see you next time. Peace.